Donald Trump keeps telling different stories about how he and Jeffrey Epstein, who he says were never friends, how their friendship broke up. I've counted at least 3 different versions of their breakup. And I think it's probably worth going through them because it's strange, in my opinion, that there are so many versions out there. So on Sunday, Trump was in Scotland at his Turnberry golf course, and he was meeting with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer. And he got a question. They took questions, as they often do. He got a question that went like this. People keep running the story about how you threw him, Epstein, out of Mar-a-Lago. Can you settle that? What was it about? What caused the breach with him? Okay, to which Trump responds. I'm going to give you the full response because it's pretty remarkable. But I want you to really focus to the first half of it. That's this part. Trump says this. That's such old history, very easy to explain, but I don't want to waste your time by explaining it. He then goes on to explain it. For years, I wouldn't talk to Jeffrey Epstein. I wouldn't talk because he did something that was inappropriate. He hired help, and I said, don't ever do that again. He stole people that worked for me. I said, don't ever do that again. He did it again, and I threw him out of the place, persona non grata. I threw him out, and that was it. I'm glad I did, if you want to know the truth. Okay, so that's the key bit. I just want to add this other part because it's pretty remarkable. Trump then goes on to add this. By the way, I never went to the island, and Bill Clinton went there supposedly 28 times. I never went to the island, but Larry Summers, I hear, went there. He was the head of Harvard, and many that are very big people. Nobody ever talks about them. I've never had the privilege of going to his island, and I did turn it down, but a lot of people in Palm Beach were invited to his island. In one of my very good moments, I turned it down. I didn't want to go to his island. Okay, so I want to talk mostly about what Trump is saying about why he and Epstein aren't friends anymore, but let me just do a quick second on that. So Trump said he's never been to Epstein's island. For people who don't know, Jeffrey Epstein had it at sort of a private island where he brought very young women, sexually exploited them along with other high-profile people. Trump is saying he never went there. He's saying Bill Clinton went there 28 times. I'll note Bill Clinton has denied ever going there. And then Trump says, I never had the privilege of going there. Privilege is not the word that you're going for there, my dude. That is not, you don't say, I never had the privilege of going to an island where a guy sexually exploited thousands of very young girls. Privilege is the wrong word. Right? Right. Okay, but I want to get into because this is now the third version of how Trump and Epstein's friendship ended, and I want to go through each one of them and just go through what we know. Before I do that, I want to make a pitch to you using 2 words, independent and authentic. I am independent. This is why you should subscribe to me. I'm independent because I'm not tied to billionaire owners of legacy media, nor am I tied to either political party. I'm authentic because I'm not going to just tell you what you want to hear so that you subscribe to me. I'm going to tell you what I think is the honest truth based on my knowledge, my years in this. I've been a political reporter for more than 2 decades. I'm always going to shoot you straight no matter what. Independent, authentic, hit that subscribe button. And look, 100,000 people have already done it. So join us. Okay, so let's talk about the 3 versions of the story of how Epstein and Trump's friendship ended. But before we do that, it's what we know about when their friendship started. And this is actually pretty clear. In 1990, Jeffrey Epstein who was, I think, trying to get into the kind of Palm Beach life. Jeffrey Epstein bought a place about 2 miles from Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump's mansion and club in Palm Beach. And then he started sort of running that same Palm Beach social circle, and he and Trump got to know each other. What we know is that around mid to late 2004, that friendship started to disintegrate. Now, there have been, as I said, 3 versions of the story. So version 1, and I had not heard this one before. This is the one that Trump said over the weekend. He said, Epstein hired help, and I said, don't ever do that again. He stole people that work for me. I said, don't ever do that again. He did it again, and I threw him out of the place, persona non grata. I threw him out, and that was it. So Trump is saying Epstein came, took people who worked for Trump away from Trump. Trump said, don't do it again. Epstein did it again. Friendship over. Okay. The story that I think is actually correct is the New York Times has reported on this, USA Today has reported on this, a bunch of people have reported on it. In late 2004, a French-style mansion on the ocean right there in Palm Beach came up for sale. There are differing reports on this. One report is Epstein was going to buy it. He wanted to show it to his friend Donald Trump before buying it, make sure Trump thought it is nice. Regardless, Trump started to bid on it as well. I don't know if they were both bidding initially or if Trump saw it and liked it after Epstein showed it to him and he started to bid on it. Regardless, they got into a bidding war. Now, Trump ultimately won that bidding war. He paid $41.35 million for this home in late 2004. I will note he sold it to a Russian in 2009 for a cool $95 million. But regardless, that's where most people say the relationship broke down, that it was over this real estate fight. So that's version number 2 of the Epstein-Trump breakup. Version number 3, and Trump has told this one to people as well, he has said that Epstein behaved inappropriately to the daughter of a longtime member at Mar-a-Lago. And that member complained to Trump, and Trump kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago and never invited him back. Now, which version is true? It's not impossible that all 3 of them are true. There was a real estate deal, went sour. Epstein, we know Epstein behaved inappropriately towards lots of young women, so I could see Epstein behaving inappropriately toward a young woman at Mar-a-Lago. And I could also see Epstein taking people who work for Trump and Trump being pissed off about it. So I'm not totally sure which one is right. I will say the one that is most commonly accepted is that battle over the French-style mansion that Trump ultimately wins by buying it for $41 million. I have not heard the one prior to this, although I am not deep down the Epstein-Trump friendship rabbit hole, but I had not heard the one prior to this about Epstein stealing workers from Mar-a-Lago and Trump getting pissed off. I had in the past heard the one about Epstein behaving inappropriately with the young daughter of a member of Mar-a-Lago and that person being like, you need to get rid of this guy. So, look, this all goes to the fact that there's just still a lot of questions surrounding their friendship, right? Trump has sort of denied they were friends. I think that's ridiculous. I always cite to people from 93 to 1997, Donald Trump rode on Jeffrey Epstein's private plane 8 times. Jeffrey Epstein was at Donald Trump's 1993 wedding to Marla Maples. The idea that they weren't friendly, they're not best friends, but they were friends is ridiculous. Trump has boxed himself in, as I've said in other videos. Trump's boxed himself in on this by insisting he barely knew Epstein. He clearly knew him. But I also think it's fascinating that there are 3 different versions of how their friendship ended, all of which have the ring of plausibility and truth to them, right? I could see it being Epstein behaving inappropriately. I could see it being Epstein stealing staff from Mar-a-Lago, and I could definitely see it being a real estate fight between Trump and Epstein. But it just to me speaks to the fact that there's still so much that we don't really know about that relationship, including how it ended, right? We know it ended around 2004, but beyond that, there's still a whole lot of history where there's several different versions of the truth. Anyway, I just wanted to note that I was reading through the transcript of Trump's answer on it from Sunday, and I was like, I don't remember hearing that before, and I thought it'd be worth passing along to you all. Anyway, as I said before, I hope you subscribe to my channel. We are at 100 and almost 12,000. Let's keep growing, keep that number moving upward. The more subscribers I have, the more kind of content like this I can do. And I hope that is mutually beneficial to us. Other things you can do to help. You can like and comment on this video if you have theories about Trump and Epstein, particularly how their friendship actually ended. Throw it in the comment section. And like this video. That helps me get my content out to people who aren't already subscribers. Last thing you can do, just tell someone you see, a friend, an acquaintance, a relative about what I'm doing here, why you think it's important. I spent 2 decades in mainstream media, now doing this on my own, calling balls and strikes no matter what uniform the batter at the plate is wearing. I hope that is of value to you. I hope you subscribe. I hope you spread the word, and I hope you take good care, and I'll see you tomorrow.